When you're packing your kit bag for an adventure and or zombie outbreak and or bank heist, there are a few crucial, indispensable items that you cannot do without. Or so you would think. Because some of the supposedly essential items that should have been totally useful turn out to be completely useless.
What could be more useful on your poorly lit mission than a torch? And when we say torch, we mean flashlight, not a big stick on fire, because we're British, not angry medieval villagers. But anyway, a flashlight is only as useful as its battery life, and all too often in video games, it's a variant on the HEV suit light in Half-Life 2, which is to say it lasts as long as a birthday cake candle in a hurricane crapping out on you when you need it the most. In this particular instance, it's because some genius designed the suit light to draw on the same power supply as the sprint ability. Looking at you, Black Mesa.
Let's just be cool.
Save some space in your survivor's rucksack and throw away your homemade shiv, the one that breaks after a single use. Yes, Joel, we know you crafted it yourself, that's very resourceful, but here in the post-fungal zombie apocalypse, we need more reliable tools than an ultra-breakable blade made from half a pair of scissors. Admittedly, you get better at crafting these DIY daggers with a bit of training, but could you not just borrow Ellie's infinitely durable switchblade, the one that can stab up a baddie without disintegrating? There's a lad.
I know you had your heart set on an awesome flamethrower, but it's not all about dubstep and incinerating weed, you know? Your fun new flamethrower is just as likely to be a bit of a lemon, like the one you eventually get in LA Noire, which has an effective range of about 3 feet and will blow up if it gets shot in the gas tank. Do yourself a favour, just take a gun.
Look, I'm no drill scientist, but it seems that the main requirement for a drill should be that it drills. So it beats me why the bank heist crew in Payday 2 keeps lugging the same drill to work. This is a drill that, without exception, breaks down every single time they try to use it. The drill then has to be reset, sometimes several times in a single drill session. This wouldn't be a big deal if you were using the drill to make a cabinet or hang some paintings on the walls, but when you're trying to get into a bank vault while being hassled by an angry SWAT team, these things matter. So if for whatever reason you absolutely need a drill in your kit bag, just make sure it isn't one of these. You'd think, after all that heisting, the Payday guys would be able to afford an upgrade. Maybe it has sentimental value?
When you're arming yourself for a nightmarish survival horror ordeal, you're going to want something powerful. Who knows what kind of monsters you'll be going up against? Presumably, there's no better way to defend yourself than with the weapon of legendary horror monster Pyramid Head, called the Great Knife. It's called the Great Knife. It must be great. Chalk this one up to false advertising, though. The so-called Great Knife is so massive that while wielding it you move slightly slower than an unconscious sloth, and actually swinging it takes such a monumental effort that whatever you're trying to hit will have got bored, given up monstering, got a job in insurance and raised a family in Wisconsin by the time you actually connect. Plus it wouldn't fit in your rucksack anyway, not without the handle poking up and getting caught on doors. Nightmare.
While on your adventure, you will need to plan for getting around the place. Now, you'll be tempted by the Scroll of Icarian Flight from the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. It gives you the power of flight, without the 2-hour check-in and the humiliating body scans at security. And it's a scroll, so it'll fold up neatly and fit right in your pocket. Except that in this instance, flight actually means the ability to jump really high. You see, all the Scroll of Icarian Flight does is increase your acrobatic skill by 1,000 points, which enables you to jump hundreds of feet in the air, at which point you will then fall hundreds of feet to the earth and die. This is what happened to Icarus, sort of, so you were warned. Still, probably just easier to take the bus.
I suppose it's realistic that you'd only be able to carry 1 or 2 rockets in addition to the rocket launcher itself, but you know what else is realistic? Maths homework and parking fines. When you're handing us what is usually the most spectacular destructive weapon in the game, at least give us a chance to properly even the odds. You know, like Resident Evil doesn't, ever. After you've already completed the game doesn't count. Far Cry 2 gets even more pedantic by adding weapon failure to the list. Not only do you have limited ammunition, but unless you keep the launcher in good nick, there's a chance your precious rocket will just flop out at your feet and whiz around like a malfunctioning firework. What is this, not being a badass simulator 2015?
I'm gonna die out here.
Let me level with you. When you go down to the woods today, you're going to freeze to death. And then wolves are going to eat your frozen corpse. Unless you get eaten by wolves first, obviously. Your only hope in the wilderness of hardcore camping simulator the Long Dar is getting a fire going to warm your frozen bones. Except, God help you if you've only brought along the rubbish cardboard matches, the worst of all the Long Dark's fire starting options. Of all the things you can use to start a fire, these are the most likely to fail. It's probably on account of how they come from a cold, damp cardboard matchbook you got for free from a bar you were at instead of attending that wilderness survival training seminar. Where's that LA Noire flamethrower when you need it? Oh, right, we told you not to pack it. Oops.
Those were the supposedly useful items that turned out to be pretty much useless, so you may as well save the space in your luggage and pack something helpful instead, like a bunch more bullets or maybe a med kit or 2. Anyway, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time on Outside Xbox, and drop us a like if you don't mind.